if you're making a two-color fabric, this particular pocket design is something you should look into. It's a very simple design that actually splits two colors in between one another. You see what I have here? So in today's video, I will take you guys through the process of making this pocket design step by step. So all you have to do for me is just to give the video a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, let's get into the tutorial. So in order to do the pocket, the first thing I'm going to cut is going to be my interfacing. You can see what I have here. So here, the total wideness of my interfacing here is at 5 inches by 6 inches. You see what I have here? So firstly, depending on how you want the edge to be, I want this edge to be a curved edge, right? So from here, starting from here, I'm just going to hold this like this. I'm going to like simply make a curve or like this. See what I have? So this is exactly what the curve is going to be. So now the next thing is going to cut a piece of fabric like this. You can see here I cut this at a full length. I'm still going to like cut it into two. So if I cut this as a full length, I'm going to cut a total of 2 inches. You can see here I have 2 inches, and when I fold it together, I'm going to have 1 inch like this. You see that? So now I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to cut this as well. I'm going to cut these two pieces as well. You can see that. So now in order to get the measurements you want, you need to cut for this design. All you have to do is just to simply measure this from here to here and make sure there's a little bit of space in between. So just something like this. So total 7.5 inches will like cross over this pocket itself, right? 7.5 inches, right? So once you get that, the thing is just to simply cut your length at 7.5 inches. So for this one, I'm just going to split it into two. You can see. And this one as well, I'm just going to cut it into two pieces. You can see that. So once I cut it into pieces, if I decide to like align this together, you see, I'm going to start from here to make sure you cover that edge. You can see, I'm going to start from here as well. You see that? So if I start to align this, you can see I'll make sure I cover this entire place and I leave some space at this other side. So once that is done, the next thing is simply to take this to the ironing table. You're going to put an hemming gum in between here, so that this thing will not rumble at all. It has to be sharp and neat, right? It has to be sharp and neat so that this place will not rumble. Put an hemming gum in between it and also this one. And we're going to cut a total pieces of, at least we're going to cut, let me align this, 1. So if we have 1 inch here, if you calculate this, 1 here, 1, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So at least we are going to cut at least 10 pieces of this and 10 pieces of this in order to cover those two sides. So let me put an hemming gum here. So at this place, just open this up and put your hemming gum in between, just at this edge, just like this. You see what I have? So you're just going to put your hemming gum here. You can see that, just at this place, all the way to this edge. You can see that. Simply close it together and iron it down. Make sure it is flat very well. So we're going to have the edge as sharp as possible. So after folding, this is what I'm going to be having. You can see I have my green here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I have 12 pieces of this, and I also have 12 pieces of this. So it's going to simply cover this entire place all in a hole. So once you do that, the next thing we are going to do now is to simply add a fabric to this one. We're going to gum this to a fabric and simply cut out the exact shape out of it. We're going to gum it to a fabric first. So you can see here, just gum this to the entire fabric. You can see what I have here. Just gum it. So once you gum it, I'm going to simply cut this part out. Trim out all of the edges. Once all of the edges is trimmed out, the next thing is to go and align this to the table. So we're going to the ironing table now to do all of the aligning. So once we get here, the first thing I'm going to do is to get the center point. So here at the center point, I'm going to make a notch at this edge. Just a tiny notch, you can see that. this, and also here, just align this side together as well. I'm also going to get center point here because I want the arrow zigzag to all go round this edge. So once that is done, the next thing is to put a bit of an hemming gum at this place to hold it down. So from here, I'm just going to put a little bit of hemming gum here. You can see that. This place, I'm going to put an hemming gum at this place as well. So if the arrow goes like this, it's going to definitely touch an hemming gum, right? So on that place, I'm going to sprinkle some water on those edges. So when I iron it down, the steam is going to melt the hemming gum to the fabric. So once, the next thing is to simply start aligning. So from here, I'm going to start all the way from this edge. Make sure you reach the edge itself. You see that? So that you're going to cover the tip of the fabric. I'm going to take one red, wine color, also place it right here. You see that? You see that? So the next thing is to fill the entire part. So from here, I'm going to place this both. So make sure you're leaving exactly the same space. You can see the space that I leave here. You can see this space that I leave here is not up to a quarter of an inch, just like that. You can just use your eye to just gauge it and continue placing it like that. Exactly. You can see I'm going to leave literally almost exactly the same space in between here, likewise at this space. I'm going to make sure it fall at the center part. So once that is done, I'm going to place this one also. Yes, see that. You see, there's no thread showing in it like. So after that part is done, just place a fabric on top of it, and I'm just going to use to iron it and make sure it is balanced. Take your time. Now make sure you put some steam on the iron so that the gum is going to melt and it's going to glue the fabric. So once that is done, you see that the next thing is basically to start raising these ones up once after the other, and I'm going to be placing an hemming gum in between it. So all you have to do is just to cut your hemming gum into like two, so that it's not going to be too much. Cut it into two, just like this. Just cut it into two, just the way I'm doing it. You can see once you cut it into two like that, let me just cut a bit out of it. Let me just cut this out. So once you cut it into two like that, the next thing is to simply raise this one up, just from here. Raise this up a bit, just like that. And simply place your gum underneath the fabric. See what I did here? Just place your gum just like that. Just place your gum just like that, and simply iron it down. See, simply iron it down at that place. I'm going to put the ironing fabric, then I'm going to simply iron it down. And once you iron this one down, you're going to repeat exactly the same process. Lift this one also up, put the same hemming gum in it, and repeat it all around the fabric in order to hold them all together. So once you're done with that, the next thing is to simply I'm going to put some steam on it and I'm going to iron it. Make sure you take your time to align all of those things. Make sure they are of the same sizes. So I'm going to put some steam on it all around. You're going to do it at the other side as well. Do the both side. Put some steam on it. I'm going to place the ironing fabric on top of it, then gum it together, right? So it's going to definitely melt together. You see that? And make sure you put some steam on the iron, just like I'm doing here. Make sure you put some steam on the iron, so it's going to eat the hemming gum and melt them together. It's as simple as that. So take your time, make sure you iron this part very, very well, and make sure it is as flat as possible. See what I'm doing? See what I'm doing here? See what I'm doing? Take your time. Take your time to flatten it up. So once you're done, if I raise this up, it's going to join together exactly how we want it to be. Just like this. You can see. So after that is done, you see what I have here. This is what I'm going to be having. So from the back, I'm just going to simply trim out the entire pocket shape. You can see, just trim out the entire pocket shape. See what I have here. Just take your time and trim it all out. You can see that. Just cut it out. Cut the entire shape out. See what I have. This is what it's going to look like. You can see that down part. All you have to do is just to place another fabric there to cover that edge. And after that, also this edge, I'm going to simply cut that part out as well. Just cut it straight before we do our main pocket. So after cutting it, and you can see I already covered that down part as well. So here on the tip, all you have to do is just to cut a piece of fabric for that place, and I'm going to stitch it straight and simply do a turn up. And also on this piece of fabric, I cut it in bias, like you're cutting a neck piping, right? In bias, that's slanty shape. That's what you're going to use to close the edges of the pocket. So after stitching this, you see what I have here. I'm going to simply turn it backward like this. I'm going to put a piece of gum here at this back side. I'm going to simply turn it over just like this. You see that? I'm going to iron it down. Take your time, make sure it is flat as possible. I'm going to iron it down. See what I have? See that? Just like that. You can see what I have here. So just iron it down. And I'm going to cut this excess at the side and also at the back. So after this is what you're supposed to be having so far. And after that is done, the next thing is to simply stitch this side all the way around. So just place your fabric like this. I'm going to fold the edge, so it's going to have a closing. Just fold the edge like this. Place it together. And we're going to run a straight stitch all the way around the edge. So let me go ahead and do that and show you guys the final result. It's as simple as A, B, and C. Make sure you close that fabric so that the edge is going to be closed together. So after stitching, this is what you're supposed to be having. See that? So if I turn this backward and I push all of this fabric backward, you can see what I am supposed to be having at these edges. You see that? See that? That's what I'm having here. See that? See what I'm having here so far. So take your time to iron it and gum the back. At the back here, all you have to do is just to put your hemming gum underneath the fabric and simply iron it all around and make sure it is balanced and well shaped. See that? So it is balanced and well shaped. So what I have. So after finishing, this is what you're supposed to be having. So all you have to do is just to join this to your pocket. So the stitch I'll be doing is going to be invisible. The stitch is not going to show at all when I stitch it to the main pocket. So this is going to be our final result, our final result. If you like the video, make sure you give the video a thumbs up. That's very important to help this channel grow. Give the video a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are yet to subscribe to the channel. That will be about it on this tutorial, and I will see you on the next one. Peace. Bye bye.